Have you ever wondered why you struggle so much to succeed at the things you've planned to do? And you have the right mindset. Maze, you went to church, you tithed, you prayed, you did all these things, but still, Maze, you're struggling. And I got to find out that one of the reasons why it's so difficult to succeed, even at the things that you're really working hard for, is your habits. You could have the best mindset, you could be the most prayerful person, but if you don't have habits that support the actions that are necessary for you to succeed, you're not going anywhere. And you read about the habits of highly successful people, and then you wonder, they look pretty straightforward. Get up early in the morning, make a plan, stick to the plan, follow it, blah 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 blah. There's all this set of things that you should do. And then when you try to do them, you realize, these things are hard, Maze. They're hard. They're extremely difficult. They look easy on paper until you start trying to do them. Then they become difficult. And the reason why that is because for you to begin developing a new set of habits, you have to break the old ones. And that is hard. Breaking old habits is difficult enough. And the reason why it's difficult to break old habits is because, first of all, you don't even realize that the things you're doing turn into habits. The actions that you're doing turn into habits. So, for example, you ask yourself, why do I do certain things? And that requires you to peel back the layers to really examine and determine, what are these things that I do that have become bad habits, and why have they become bad habits? So, for example, you're late for work every day, and for you to examine what habit makes you late for work, you need to peel back the layers. So, for example, you're late for work every day, and the reason you're late for work every day is because you slept late the night before. And why did you sleep late the night before? Because you were watching movies or watching series, or you were out clubbing, or you were on social media, or you're doing something that made you sleep late. But then again, you have to peel back the layer a bit further and ask yourself, why do I do these things that make me sleep late? And you'll realize it's probably because they give you some sort of instant psychological reward or emotional reward or satisfaction from doing them. And the reason they do that is because you probably had a shit long day, your boss was yelling at you, your workload was crazy, and you want to just come home and do something that puts your mind at ease and puts your mind, gives you some peace of mind. And that's the psychological reward you get from either watching the movies or doing all these things. And then it gets you late, and then you sleep late, and you wake up late, and it just spirals downwards from there. And that's the problem, that these things that you do probably have a psychological reward, and that's why it's so hard to break them. One of the reasons why we find it so hard to break those old habits is because we try to do it immediately. Okay, fine, now I have to start sleeping early, and so I'm going to start sleeping at 8, and you used to sleep at 1 a.m. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So one of the things that I found that are useful is to negotiate with yourself about your bad habits. Okay? You do this thing which you're not supposed to be doing. You know that if I just stop doing this shit, I'll become more productive. But the problem is you want to stop it immediately. So you have to negotiate with yourself about your bad habits and say, okay, fine, you know what? Like me, I sleep very late, like 2 a.m. even sometimes. So what I found useful is to negotiate with myself and say, you know what? I'll start sleeping at 12. And then from 12, I'll say, I'll start sleeping at 11. And then you scale it down proportionately. Don't try and deal with this thing immediately. I guarantee you it will never happen. So if you're the kind of person who likes to eat sweet things, and then that you eat sweet things and they make you add weight, and then you can't fit into the clothes that you want to wear, and then since you can't fit in the clothes you want to wear, you become depressed and miserable and become this horrible human being towards everybody else. And then you join the gym, and then you go and you work out, and then you can't sustain that because it's too difficult, and you give up after 5 days. You know what? Negotiate with yourself about your bad habits. If you eat 10 sweet things a day, cut them down to 6, to 4, to 3, to 2, to 1. And then that's it. Just negotiate with yourself and scale down proportionately. And I guarantee you'll see some results at some point.